Hello and welcome back to another episode of Let's Play LOTRO with me, Balthelion, and also joining me is Halafor.
Hello, guys.
So today we are in the northern region, northern part of Everdyn, which we did a while ago with Skalvig, and we're just at the top of this path here, which will lead us into the region of Forochel, which is another like 40 to 50-ish region. I always tend to start this about level 42 or so, but it does jump up after the first town, as we'll see. But yeah, we're going to have a massive bit of climate change in a short while.
Let's put it lightly.
Somewhat, yeah. So we're just going to ride up this hill. It is going to be a pretty long path. Not really too many mobs and that around here. There's a couple. There's a tomb robber there. But we're basically
Get lost.
Yeah, climbing a mountain, and then slowly it's going to get a little bit more snowy. And then we're going to end up in like a snowy tundra on the other side of the mountain range. But it's going to be a very long and slow drive up here. So what's your thoughts on the Forochel region then, Hal?
I tend to dip it, to be honest, because I find it's a bit too spaced out for my liking when I'm trying to level. But then again, that's generally because I usually power level things for one reason or another. So the first camp in here is actually not bad. Everything's quite closely compact on the map. You can see the first camp itself is like a very small region, but then once you get up to the second camp onwards, it's quite spread out compared. I just find it takes quite a while. Like I said, it's an alright area overall. There's a few interesting things here.
There's certainly a lot of riding around, as we're already discovering, but this is a short distance compared to most of the others.
Yeah, it is a big map. Yeah.
It is pretty big, actually. We should be able to see it now. So there we go. So we've got this first town here of Kalpakota. The second town is in the middle of the map there, Pinty Peldot. There's Zigwagund, which is kind of like a dwarven place over on the western side there. There's a small scout camp in the northwest, Kuruliri. Surikila is the capital of the region. And there's loads of other little camps and stuff scattered around, but it's a pretty big open area. But since you can't swim across the ice bay in the middle as well, because otherwise you'll literally freeze to death, it's a very long drive. As King Arvedui found out back in the day, yeah. I spy rich ancient silver. I'm loving the fact that you don't have to dismount off your horse now to mine nodes, which they've rolled out worldwide.
Yeah, thanks to the latest patch.
Yeah, instead of just being in the Rohan onwards areas. So much better.
But you can just see the size of this map. It is big, and the problem is that a lot of the quests are kind of like spread out quite diffusely. So it's one of the reasons that I tend to avoid this place when leveling. That said, it does provide a decent amount of XP, and it is different.
I must admit, I wasn't too keen on the region the first time I came here, but it has grown on me with subsequent characters.
Just famous for the typical Forochel fog.
Yeah, the great old Forochel fog bug, which we might actually be able to replicate at some point.
Well, they still haven't fixed it. They don't know how to fix it.
I'm not even sure they want to fix it now.
Probably not.
But basically, there's a very thick fog you can get in like a snowstorm in this region, and if you visit anywhere else in the world, the snowstorm effect persists and still follows you. So
he's new.
Who's new?
The Great Hairy Orc at level 50. He never used to be here.
He's purple. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, they did introduce roving threats up here, didn't they?
There are roving threats in Forochel. We have to watch out for those. I think we'll probably be a bit too ambitious going for Torahamath if we see him, but we'll have to get him on camera at some point. So there's a stable master here. There is a task board, but I've already done my daily tasks. But we should be able to get 5 or so quests.
And my favourite part of the Forochel thing is these lot, the Lost Fellowship.
Yeah,
these guys are brilliant.
So it's literally an NPC representing most of the original classes, if not all of the original classes. I think there might even be a Bjorning one now, isn't there? Or am I just making that up?
I think you're just making that up.
Yeah. But basically, they give you some quests, and there's a small deed for completing all of the quests for these members of these fellowships. So, in the first town, there's the Lore Master. I've got a vector quest to hear from Alkire in Angmar, so I can just hand that in for some free XP.
Yeah, I had the same.
I'll not be ignored.
So just pick up the last few quests here. But yeah, my earliest memories of Forochel were when I was leveling my Cappy, my first character, through Evendim, and I would like do some mining runs into Forochel just to get some ancient silver and that.
Similarly, mine are actually.
Right. Are you on this quest as well?
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Mine are similar to that. In the first time I visited Forochel when I was leveling Hal, the champion that I get my namesake from.
Can't attack it. I think the wall's in the way. There we are. Let's go. Yeah. Why not?
But I just ended up coming up here because I was vectored here. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
You know, being somewhat newer and greener at the game than I am these days.
So I should probably explain as well that I'm playing a hunter and you're playing a guardian. Both classes which we haven't really seen in the series so far. So the hunter's like a ranged DPS class. It uses bows or crossbows. You know, it does what it says on the tin. You're basically Legolas, let's be honest. Although you don't go surfing on a shield down a flight of stairs or anything like that. We need these guys, Wolverines.
I was gonna go have a chat to what you can't. I don't think we need them yet, do we?
Yeah, the sinews.
Oh, they give the sinew.
Yeah.
Come here.
So we need mooses for antlers, Wolverines for sinews, driftwood is around the lake.
Yeah.
Warg fats from wargs. We need to rescue the raven, which is a very fun escort quest. You can detect the sarcasm in my voice there.
You hold still.
No. I'm trying to avoid this massive moose, which is trying to run me down.
Like hit engage or through the edge. Or even guardian challenge.
Yeah. So Hal's class is a guardian. It's basically a tank. It's a melee class. Although, yeah, they've kind of buffed its damage a bit. So most classes can actually do reasonable damage in their respective damage lines now.
Given I'm playing it as with a two-handed weapon, it's overpower as opposed to with a sword and board, sword and a shield, as the tank would. I'm just playing it more as the solo-friendly DPSer, which really ain't all that DPSy, but whatever. Like playing an inferior champion. But then again, I compare everything in this game to playing an inferior champion.
Just not enough deeps.
I don't know, Art keeps trying to convince me that the Warden is a superior champion.
It has a lot more survivability, that much is undisputable. So yeah, although I'm a hunter, a bow is my primary weapon. I also do have the ability to wield some melee weapons as well, to do some melee attacks. Hal gets to use a bow. Although he doesn't really have any bow skills, really. You have like one bow skill, don't you?
Yeah, it's just a pulling tool, basically, and 3 stats.
But I actually get quite a few melee attacks.
Which are more like survival attacks, for when something actually gets close to you.
I've completed something, but I don't know what it was. I should probably pop my Skill and Slayer Deed Accelerator as well while doing this. Not that I think there's really any Slayer Deeds for these guys, but that's my class deeds while we're doing this. How are we doing? We need 14 wolves as well, but they're mostly on the southern side of the lake.
They're all over, really.
Yeah.
Damn wolves get everywhere.
There's a nice wolf den on the western shore as well.
There is, yeah. It's kind of like in the middle, isn't it, of the the waterfall bit.
We'll have to massacre that. So yeah, it's just a small lake around here. It's not really a big area to start with, although it does look pretty big when you look off this hill.
But then when you look at it on the actual map, it's tiny compared to Forochel.
Compared to the rest of the region. But to be fair, a lot of the stuff that's on the map is not actually traversable on foot.
Yeah, quite a bit of it. To the king!
This centre section in the middle here you can't go, the eastern section you can't go, so it's just kind of like almost like a Y shape.
Y shape almost, yeah. Oh, a bloody big Y shape.
It's a very big Y.
Come here.
He stunned me. He's found the taunt button. There we go.
I was in the middle of hitting through the edge when he like ran over to you.
Noises that these antlers make as well.
The same as like all the pathetic mobs.
Yeah, but that used to get like really irritating back in like the Moria days when like Lothlorien was like the end of the game, and then like all those like mooses, you'd mind that, you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's the path up to the second, out of this area towards the second camp up there.
So it won't be long before we go there.
It's
The
a
wolves,
little wolf den bit.
yeah,
But you
should
can
be.
already see that, like, you know, the mobs themselves are level 44, 45, so we've probably come in a little early in terms of when it was intended to start. But, you know, we'll just suck it up.
I never really have a problem at 42 doing this bit. There's just one quest at the end with the red fang or whatever it is.
Ah, yeah, the
Big
warg.
warg.
Yeah.
That is pretty tough to solo unless you're in certain classes.
It is a small fellow anyway, I believe.
It is, yeah.
So, between the pair of us, we probably shouldn't have too much issue clearing it.
Oh, easy. At least with two of us, we can mow these guys
I
out
hope you've got
pretty
my
quick.
back on this one.
I've totally not got your back because I'm engaged in melee combat.
Ah, nice.
Right. Coming.
I'm almost going to have to do something called tanking. I'm confused.
What is this tanking you speak of? Yeah, to give a brief overview of the hunter then and what their respective class trait lines are. The red one is the bowmaster, if I'm not mistaken.
You've got useless, good, and then interesting.
Well, the red one is bowmaster. That's basically like you maximum damage, you stand still, you aim, and you wreck face.
Standard long range sniper, basically. Yeah.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah, you're immobile. You shoot from the spot, do the most damage. Let's not aggro the Grim. Grims are okay.
He moved towards me. I was
Yeah.
going to...
He doesn't have too much health, but they just irritate him. You deed Grim Slayer. Well, I'm gonna at least get
Get one.
double. No, get two because I've got the accelerator.
Yeah.
It's one of the worst E's to do in this region. But yeah, going back to the class trait lines then while we pick up this driftwood. The huntsman is a more mobile version of the hunter, so you can use a lot of your skills while on the move. You get obviously different skills from being in that trait line to be a bit more, movement based.
I really enjoyed Blue Hunter while it's level, and it was what made the class playable for me.
It's interesting. I kind of like both of them really.
Oh, I use red these days now that I'm the hunter that cat, but leveling it, I love the blue line for just kiting. You can
kite for days
you
using
can
that
do
line.
inductions on the move. It's beautiful.
Then slow things while you're kiting them, and they can't really hit you. So yeah, it's quite nice. Kind of like a lightning runekeeper in that regard. And the third line is Trapper of Foes, the yellow one, but that's more crowd control and weird and wonderful stuff. That always used to be a bit niche.
Still is.
It still is a bit niche. It used to be niche in a like no one ever does it kind of way. Now it's niche in a pretty interesting.
No one still does it kind of way.
It's quite fun using the stuff, especially if you like stick down like 50 million traps and then just like bait a mob into it, and then it just slowly dies as it triggers trap after trap.
Yeah, but the problem with it is of course, you could have just pewed it to death in Bowmaster.
Yeah, in like a third of the time, if that.
We got
You didn't need to pull him, I don't think.
I was trying to pull just the wolf, and the warg pulled as well.
Yeah. But the combat flow of the hunter is that you've got certain skills which will build up something called focus, and other skills will consume that focus for some of the more damaging skills. So you'll see just above the combat icon here, I've got a little bar which is slowly going to fill up with red. It's broken down into 3 bits. Each bit is 3, so I can build up to 9 focus. And my skills can consume anywhere between 0 and 9 focus. Generally speaking, the ones that consume more focus deal more damage. There we go.
He took
But he is like a rare or a signature or something.
Yeah, it was a sig.
We need 5 wolves, more wolverines, more antlers.
We should have actually went to the little Wolverine den rather than just running around, but whatever.
We'll probably have plenty on the way back anyway. Wolverine den's just on the hill to the north of the river. I just sat behind that moose while he's making farty noises.
I mean, Fortress again is just like another resource that like most classes have. You know, hunters have Fortress, champions have Fervor, Bjornings have Wrath.
Yeah, so all kind of similar mechanics.
A similar equivalent.
Right, we're going to head a bit more southwest so we can go for the Raven. So are we going to be competing for these ore nodes all the time?
Probably.
I don't really care too much about the ancient ore. It's the silver I'm most interested in. Because for me it's probably like one of the most rare materials in the game. Since it's very rare, I level a character through one of these regions that offers it, so...
Why I do, is it just as much?
You've gone running off into the distance, I can't find you. I'll mount up then.
To be fair, I did mine about a stack of it a month or so ago. I just took like the cappy and just ploughed through the Regian, just mining everything inside.
So on the western side of this this lake up in the hills, there is a like sort of canyony path. There's several ways in.
The Canyon of the Crescent Moon. Oh wait.
Yeah. Wrong law. How dare you resist my stuff? God damn. So if we just go up that hill there, it should be one of the entrances.
Mm-hmm.
It should be the entrance we come out of when we're doing the escort quest. So it makes sense going in this way.
There's an entrance over on the corner here.
Yeah, I see it. So it makes sense coming in this way because then we kill the mobs that are spawned here naturally, and then we only have to worry during the escort quest about killing the mobs that spawn as part of the quest itself. So we kind of make our escape a bit easier.
Anyone want to try saying that?
What, a bit easier?
What, the name of the camp? Netasasta Ta.
Well, the interesting thing is about everything that's pretty much in Forochel is it's kind of meant to be Finnish.
Yeah, definitely.
So, of Finland. Because Tolkien was quite a fan of like all the Finnish language and all that. He was quite into his languages.
Which means it's virtually impronounceable to someone who's got an English tongue. Pretty
much. And even if we did pronounce it in a way that sounds appropriate for English, it's probably not how it's pronounced in Finland. So. But message just there. I'm over it. I give up.
Yeah.
We're in this place, and it's unpronounceable. Metzester Siege.
Thought you were giving up.
It's the umlauts that are confusing me.
Ah, bollocks.
Oh shit, no, we didn't want that. Run away! Run away! you know, worst case scenario, I can always ditch fellowship.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah, we wanted to come over here, didn't we?
That's the mob that we are going to have to tackle soon, TM.
Yeah, that's the unpleasant guy.
Yeah, 11k elite.
Do not want.
No.
Is it gone yet?
No.
I'm running out of places to go.
He's still nibbling at my legs.
I'm not entirely sure.
What the flaming hell is the actual radius on this guy?
Well, he's going after you, so alright.
I know.
But since I'm a hobbit, I'm not a hobbit. I can't play dead.
No, but he's still after me.
I think it's because you're kind of going in a circle near his spawn point, so he's not really...
I'm trying to get away from his spawn point.
Right, one of them's reset. Another one's reset.
Yeah,
I think you're good now.
Yeah, I'll kill this guy.